Come to Thursday. Today, I have a number of things for us. The focus for the AP exam is going to be taking a look at something that I call SPEED, which is an acronym for social, political, economic, environmental, demographic, and a couple other terms that oftentimes come up in FRQs. And so that will be our kind of our content today. But I also want to just cover a couple of other things that are kind of updates. There's kind of a lot going on, obviously, in this week before the AP exam. And so I want to kind of point you guys in the right direction and also answer any questions I've seen come up regarding the AP exam. So I'm going to close out this for a minute. And the first thing that you should know is over the weekend, you were assigned an FRQ on agriculture that is on AP Classroom. Since then, I've also assigned you guys the progress check FRQs for Unit 1 and 2 and 3, I believe. But this is the one that I'm really going to be taking a look at that I will be grading. And so if you recognize this, if you have done this, or if you've just started it but haven't finished it, make sure that you have done that. And if you have done it, you're good to go. But I am actually going through this FRQ and giving you some feedback. And so I want you guys, I'm actually scoring you guys according to the rubric, but I also want you guys to go to it, and I want to make sure that you read the feedback that I gave you regarding this FRQ. And so a couple of key things have come out about this FRQ, and one of them is the scales of analysis, because the first question that comes up here is identify the scale of analysis for the data provided in both maps. And so we're going to talk about how you would identify that. So on the first map, you are taking a look at you're looking at a global map. So you're taking a look at a map of the entire world. But the scale of analysis, what you are analyzing is countries. So you are taking a look at a country scale of analysis. And so the way I want you to think about scales of analysis is, yes, we're taking a look at a global picture of orange crop, but what we're really analyzing is that national differences, the country to country differences. And so when you think about a scale of analysis, you want to identify what are the boundaries that this map is using. And this map is using country boundaries to show us the differences in orange crop. On this next one, you are taking a look at the state of Florida, but the boundaries are by county. So this is a county level scale of analysis. So I don't think I did a very good job of teaching that in class or really being very clear. Now, once again, you probably will not get a question about identify the scale of analysis, but if that comes up in an FRQ, this term scale of analysis, just know, focus on what the boundaries are and use that term as your scale of analysis. So a lot of us got this first one wrong, which is fine. It was a good way for me to know, hey, I didn't do a really good job of this. So then take a look at where you're kind of struggling. And I believe after you have submitted your FRQ and after I've scored it, you can hopefully see the rubric. So go back and see how I scored you and then how the rubric would have scored you as well. And so this is practice, hopefully timed FRQ. You timed yourself 25 minutes, and this is just getting you guys ready for the AP exam. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is study sessions. So just a reminder that you have study sessions that are going to be today, 8:45 a.m. today, and then 1:45 p.m. today. These are not as going to be as guided as the other webinars that we've been doing. So I do want you to come. I want you to come with questions. I'm going to have some things that we can do if you guys don't have a lot of questions. But really, I'm just going to be starting out the study sessions with, here are some questions or what kind of questions do you guys have? What do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to answer? Do you have questions about the actual exam? Do you have questions about the content? What can we focus our time on? They're going to last about an hour. And then we'll have another set of study sessions on Monday. So come to one of the two on Thursday, come to one of the two on Monday, and you can think about these as our early morning study sessions that a lot of you guys come to, and they will be structured a little bit that way, probably with less of me talking, because I don't know what's on the exam. Or maybe less of me guiding the study session. Okay, I've also been asking you guys about some questions you have about the AP exam, so hopefully you've taken some time to go through that AP exam information folder and to really kind of delve into what will this exam look like. Hopefully you've taken some time to do the demo. If you haven't yet, go back to the Tuesday folder and make sure that you do that. That is going to give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like, what the exam is going to look like. You can practice uploading something or copy and pasting something. And so I have been getting some questions. And so once again, just a couple ways to ask questions. There is if you're on Schoology, which I'm not right now, but if you're on Schoology, if you go to the week 6 and 7 folder, there is a discussion post. You can post your questions into that discussion. I'm going to show you guys where that is again. So week 6 and 7, there is the questions about the AP exam. If you click here, you have a couple ways. I've gotten an email with a question. I've got a couple emails from questions about the exam. I've had people fill out this form, and I've also had one person write a discussion post. I just realized if the person that writes the discussion post isn't in your class, you're not going to be able to see it. But I thought this was a pretty good question that we do need to talk about. When we write our answers, do we need to label them? For example, A, B, C, whatever. So yes, you should continue, even though you're typing this now, you should continue using the structure of the FRQ question, A, B, C. I would also suggest that you leave a space to help the reader see it. So as I'm looking at your, as I've been grading this one, it's really helpful if you write A and then you leave a space before you get to B. Please don't write in full paragraphs, and please don't, and please try to add that space. It just makes the reader that much happier to see your writing because it's a little bit easier to structure. Also, some questions, and I'm not going to show you who gave you these ones, but these are some questions that have come up on the form. Will there be a class grade for the exam? I will have the ability to see your exam scores, but I will be able to see your exams before they're scored, and I will have the rubric. However, I will not be giving you A to F grade for your exam. So this is all just for you, for your score in the AP exam, and I can take a look at them, but you will not be getting submitting a grade. I will not be submitting a grade based on your AP exam for AP Human Geography. How do we plan to answer before submitting, or how do we plan our answers before submitting our final responses? I do really think that there should be very little that you are probably planning. So you have 25 minutes for the first question, you have 15 minutes for the second question. There will be not enough time if you spend 10 minutes planning your answer. So although we have really practiced planning our answer and that has been good, try to do less of that in your actual exam. However, if you do want to plan out your answer before you start typing, you can just do it into a Google Doc. You're going to have to write into a Google Doc anyway. So you can write into a Google Doc or in a Word document. You can just jot down some notes, or you can actually, maybe what I would do, and I didn't even think about this, but maybe what I would do is I would have a sheet of paper out, maybe jot down some ideas on your sheet of paper, and then start typing. And so if you're going to do it on your document, I would then erase that and copy and paste it into your final exam. So do not put your planning, do not submit your planning anywhere. So always delete it or don't copy and paste that part. But if you need to jot down a couple of ideas, I think it would actually probably be more beneficial to just jot it down by hand and then start typing. But once again, not a whole lot of time. They have assured us that the exam will most likely have more questions than you may even be able to answer on the that you may even be able to answer during the allotted time. They said it's okay if you don't get to all the questions. Obviously, it's probably better if you do get to all the questions, but make sure you're answering the questions that you answer well. A couple of questions just related more to, because this is an open notes exam, is it okay to research something? Is it okay to go to Google? So if this question says, can I look up background information to apply to the questions asked? For example, I searched up where the large urban areas in Florida are to help me answer the FRQ about oranges. Would this be okay? Because I'm mixing my background information with the information I already know. This one over here says, since the exam is open notes, I'm wondering where the line is between open notes and cheating. I plan on doing a one-page note sheet for every unit and studying a lot, but I'm wondering if using something like Google is considered cheating if I didn't write the term down or something like that, and I can't remember what it is. You may do quick searches on Google. This is not considered cheating. There is no rules against this. However, they have assured us that the way that the exam is written, these are things that your answer is not going to be easily Googleable. And you still would, like, let's say you forget about a term and you look it up really quick, you still have to be able to apply that term. You still need to be able to show relationships or come up with your own information about that term. So just knowing the definition or researching a definition is not good enough. Another thing you can't do is copy and paste anything from the internet. So let's say you look up the definition, you copy and paste that into your answer. That is cheating. So you may not do any of that. You need to write everything in your own words. I am going to greatly suggest that you avoid having to do excessive Googling and try not to do anything. Use what you know, trust in yourself, and that is the way that you're going to be able to answer the questions in the amount of time you are given. And then, does everyone get the same FRQ, or is it different for every individual taking the test? It is, I believe, and I guess I'm not 100% sure, but yes, I think it's the same FRQ. Last year, they started to do East Coast and West Coast tests because the time period that people were taking the exam was different. They were worried about cheating across social media. However, because everyone is taking the AP Human Geography exam at the exact same time, depending on your time zone, regardless of your time zone, you will most likely be, I believe you're all going to be taking the same FRQ. And they will be checking social media sites frequently during that time period to look for cheating. All right, so I am going to, so that was questions about the exam. This is just kind of the update. I'm going to create a second video to go over the speed because I don't want this video to get too long. So look for the second video, and that will be the content that you'll need to know.